Hello and welcome to Richard's Home Mechanics, and today's project is a non-starting Ford Fiesta. Let's crack on. Let's find out why this Ford Fiesta will not start. Okay, before we diagnose this car, there's a few things we need to be thinking of. Number one, has it got a spark? Has it got ignition? Has it got fuel? Are the plugs wet? And compression. But one of the first things I'm going to do is a common problem with cars if they're left overnight and they sometimes don't start is the cam belt can snap. The normal sign that a cam belt has snapped is the engine will turn over quite quickly, much quicker than it normally would. Because the cam belt has snapped, then it hasn't got the resistance of the engine turning over, so it will turn over much quicker. So let's just see if the cam belt is snapped. I'm going to just see if the engine turns over, and then we're just going to quickly just double check that cam belt hasn't snapped. Okay, that engine's turning over, but as you can see we've got a non-starter here. I've already pre-done the bolts again, so I can see quite clearly that cam belt is still contacted there and it hasn't snapped. So I'm quite happy the cam belt is not the issue. Right, let's think about this. I did notice when I sat in the car that when I first turned ignition on, there was no fuel pump pre-surge, no prime. That's not a good sign. When you put the ignition on, you should hear the fuel pump prime, like boom, and then switch off. There's nothing. So before we start looking for electronic ignition, i.e. spark, or fuel, or check for compression by putting a compression tester on there, I'm going to jump straight in and find out why that pump's not working, because without that pump running it's not going to start anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look in the fuse box and then see what's going on in there. It could be a fuse, it could be a relay, it could be a broken wire, it could be the ECU, or it could be the pump itself. Let's go and have a look in this fuse box and find out. Right, this is where we're going to start. We're going to start fault finding on the fuel side first. Right, I've opened the glove compartment and here are all the fuses. Now, before I come back into the car, I had a little think about this. Now, there's no fuel, so it could be an issue with the fuel pump, a fuse, a relay, an ECU, or broken wire, fault in the wire. But it got me thinking, this is what you have to do. You have to step out of the box and think, why is the fuel not pumping? Then I got thinking, could there be some sort of system in this car that shuts the fuel off? After all, houses have them. You have breakers. If you have a short circuit or an RCD in a house, it shuts it off and you have to manually reset your breaker to get your sockets on. Now, do cars have this? It got me really thinking about this. Now, I've gone in here cold, so I'm still thinking about what this could be. Now, what I'm trying to put over is do not dig too deep. When you're fault finding, don't reach for the scanner straight away. Don't reach for the multimeter. Think simple first. Now, I have checked the fuse that supplies the fuel pump and it's good. And I've checked the relay for the fuel pump, that is also good. So what can it be? It got me thinking. Now, I've discovered in here, there's a little yellow switch here. Now, what is that for? It's yellow, it sticks out. Now, there is a switch in the top, like a plunge switch. Now, that's either going to be an electrical isolator, or that could be a fuel isolator. So you ask yourself, why does a car have an isolator for the fuel? Well, the reason being, if you're involved in an accident, or you hit a pothole, or you have a quick shunt, or you move the car very sharply and stop it very quickly, you can activate the fuel isolator. And what that does, that turns off the fuel. So that would possibly explain why that fuel pump is not switching on when I turned ignition on. So what we're going to do, we're going to push this switch down, this isolator stroke valve, and we're going to see if this car starts. Could it be as simple as that? It could be as simple as that. As I've said, do not go too deep when you're fault finding. Do the simplest things first. Stand back, have a think, have a coffee, think about it. This is what I've done. I have not started pulling things apart. I wanted to check this. Now, we're going to try this and see if it actually starts. Now, I've just felt a click in that, so that switch was definitely activated. Now, I've just pushed that down and it's clicked in. We're going to go and see if this car will actually start, and it was that isolator fuel switch which was the issue. Okay, we've pushed that isolator switch in, so we actually see if this is what the actual problem is. This car, why it will not start. There we go. That was what the issue was all along. As I've said before in my videos, don't automatically reach for your multimeter and your scanner. Use simple testing methods. Do the simplest thing first. And there we go. We've just proved it. This car is now back on the road. Thank you for watching Richard's Home Mechanics, and please feel free to subscribe and hit that notify button. I've got plenty more videos coming your way. Take care. See you soon.